Hi everyone, this is celebrity makeup artist Armand Beasley. I am here live from the UK, coming to you all. I've taken over the Makeup Week account for this very special interview that we've got lined up for you. Hopefully you will have enjoyed all our presentations so far. We have spanned the whole week. We have been talking to various creatives, international creatives as well as just in India. And hopefully you've really enjoyed the caliber of the people that we've had, bringing some live demonstrations and really interesting chats directly into your living room. And I know it's hard as a creative to not be able to work, but hopefully the people that we've had lined up for you have all been inspirational and helped to maintain your creativity. Now, the next person that we're going to talk to today, I'm very excited. It's Cherag, and I haven't had the privilege of meeting him yet, but hopefully I will do. And I know he's going to be joining us very shortly, and then you can ask all the questions that you want to ask him. He's going to be doing a little demonstration for us as well, and hopefully we'll be getting the lowdown on what he's been up to during lockdown, and also getting his creative slant on what beauty means to him. So whilst he's just about to join us, hopefully, hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, Vipul, so good to see you on here, my friend. Really, really good to have you here. Great that we're getting lots of people joining us. Thank you very much. So yes, we're waiting for Cherag. He has got, I think, 8 franchises now and academies across India. But we'll find out more about that. He's worked with various people from Shilpa Shetty right through to Lady Gaga. So we've got a really nice, got a lovely clientele, absolutely fantastic clientele. If you've got any questions for him, please don't hesitate to pop your questions in the comments. When he does join us, what we will do is I'll turn the comments off and then we'll go back to the comments. So hopefully that'll be okay with you guys. Also, give me your feedback as well of the kind of things you want to see when it comes to Makeup Week. What kind of knowledge do you want? What kind of training do you want? Because we are here for you at Makeup Week India. We're here to help you become the best creatives possible. So that's why we have the caliber of people that we have. So we have the wonderful Vipul, we have Ojas, we have Cherag. We've got so many people with so much knowledge. Asha was on earlier as well, where Vikas was talking to Asha. So we have got so many people, again, that we can draw on to help you maintain your creativity. Now, come on, Cherag, if you are there, my dear, just request. There we are. In fact, I think we've got you here somewhere. So you just need to request to be part of this. So just send me a request and then I can accept it. There we go. I think we're doing this now. Live in Mumbai. So it's 5 o'clock in Mumbai. And it's 12:30 here in the UK. Cherag, how are you? It's great to see you, my friend. Are you okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you now. I can hear you now, my friend. Can you hear me okay? We may have a bit of feedback. Perhaps it's better that you take the headphones out.
Hey, hi.
There as well. So,
how have you been?
I'm really good. I'm really, really good. It's a pleasure to finally meet you because I've heard so much about you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what you're going to create for us. Because, again, with yourself, we're kind of going back to basics. It's all about preparing the skin for you, isn't it? Because I know you're so passionate about the skin.
Right. Yes, of course. And I think it's all about the right preparation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I'm gloved up here, and I have a mask with me, but I can't put it on because I'll sound really muffled when I talk. But
That's
I
fine.
advise people. I advise people to just follow these things. It's going to be really easy and simple. And the sanitation and the sanitization of products, everything. I think the UV light rods work. A lot of your gamma radiation that works amazingly. The gamma rays are amazing to disinfect your products. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to teach you all to get the right tips and tricks to master a flawless base. So I have
Okay.
Shilpa, who's my colleague. She's been my student. She works with us. And I'm just going to go ahead and start. So I've just done a basic toner right now. And
Wonderful.
I'm going to go ahead and work now with the steps and talk to you about them as I proceed.
Please do. I've turned the comments off as well, so everybody at home will be able to see you clearly. And then what we'll
Yes,
do at
so
the
if
end,
there
if
are
that's
any
okay,
comments,
Cherag.
they can keep asking questions and we can keep answering. Shilpa or me, one of us will read them and we'll definitely look after that.
Super. Perfect.
Super. So the toner is already done. I'm going to go ahead and work with a moisturizer that I love. I'm going to use something from Ingla,
Okay.
and it's an intense moisturizer which is going to go ahead and help the skin to go ahead, feel plump, nice, and ready to adhere to makeup. So I'm going to use a tray,
Okay.
and there, that much goes a long way. I'm going to go ahead and use a stippling brush
Okay.
from Real Technique, and I'm going to start by just dabbing it on in the most important areas.
Okay. So what you're doing there is you're minimizing the amount of times that you're going to touch the complexion, aren't you?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So what this is going to do is it's also going to help the base to blend more easily.
Yes.
And it's also going to look after anything where you feel that the makeup can look patchy and stuff like that. I do advise people that it's not like when you put a moisturizer, it miraculously goes ahead and immediately transforms your skin. Unless a product is transderm, it cannot really do that. A product has to be transderm to go ahead and show you results instantly and work from inside out.
Okay.
So I have that on. I also cover up a little bit slightly on the neck. And I'm going to go ahead and use a lip balm. And I love to use the one which is from Carmax.
Okay.
It's medicated and it looks after lines and pigmentation. It looks after both.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have that put on with a lip brush. And I'm going to show you how to go ahead and sanitize your brushes also, because any brushes that you use need to be sanitized properly. And I use, for any synthetic brush, any brush which adheres to cream and liquid, I use that. It sanitizes them completely and it does not interfere with the texture or make them harder or harmful in any way later.
Because that's the problem sometimes with some cheap sanitizers, it can make the bristles really, really stiff and hard and difficult to
Right,
work with. So that's a good
right.
tip. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work myself a primer onto her skin, and I'm going to be using something from Professional, from Benefit.
Okay.
And what this does is it just helps the skin to look really even, and it diffuses out any imperfections into the skin.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this and apply that with a flat foundation brush.
Uh-huh.
Where you see pores, I like to fill up. So I'm always filling upwards. This works as a primer and a pore filler. So I'm able to do both things with this product. That's why I really love it. Even on the nose, a lot of people, they apply product this way. on the nose, but you must remember when you get uneven skin, your skin goes ahead and gets uneven from top to bottom. So even here, I go in an upward direction.
Okay.
So I look after the rest of the surface once I have first addressed the main concern areas. And whatever that is left can work as a primer for the rest of the surface area.
Okay.
You can use this also on the under eye, but you would rather use it from out to in. Again, out to in because the lines form from in to out. So you go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
You want to come close so they can have a look? Yeah?
Super. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use color corrector. I'm also going to work something for the under eyes and for lines. So this is called Instant Effects. It's a line eraser.
Okay.
And I'm going to use something called
What's the brand
Instant
there?
Eyelift. Sorry?
What was the brand for both of those?
It's called Instant Effects.
Okay.
That is the brand. That's the company.
Right.
And it says deep line elixir dramatically reduces the appearance of wrinkles and expression lines in just 10 minutes.
Okay, interesting. How does that work? Is it a peptide-based product? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to work with this first. And if the line is vertical, then I use it horizontal.
Okay. And again, you're using the flat foundation brush to apply that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Flat foundation brush for that. Completely, yes.
Okay.
And once I do that, I'm going to be working with something for an eye lift. Again, same company makes this called Instant Effects. And I'm going to use the Instant Eye Lift. It's like that.
Oh, sorry. That's it. I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is going to help to tighten the lines and also look after the puffiness which you face when you do makeup. And that becomes a challenge for a lot of people.
And again, you are going initially inwards.
Yes, so
towards
first
the
in the
nose.
opposite direction, yes. And I focus a lot more on the outer corner.
Yeah.
And that's how it is exactly set. I'm going to give this some time to settle. In the meanwhile, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using next. I'm going to be using something from Benefit, and it is shade number 3 called Deep, and it is a brightening camouflage for eye and face.
Okay.
And it's a peach color. It's very universal to anybody who has an olive yellow skin tone.
Okay.
So I'm going to scrape a bit out.
Yes.
I'm going to go with a concealer brush.
Okay. So again, another synthetic brush that you're using here.
Yes, I've got another synthetic brush, absolutely. And I'm going to go to corners of the forehead, which normally have pigmentation. I'm going to go around the mouth in a quick round. I also like to work on the sides where you normally either have a contour forming naturally or pigmentation or from the hair that is there. So either ways you require it there. I'm going to look after the under eyes with this. and never leave off the inner corners blank, because those are the areas that can tend to look really dark.
Yes, yeah.
I like to do the same thing on the lid, because your under eye and your eyelid color 90% of the time is the same. And I'm going to use my beauty blender. It's damp right now.
Okay.
So it's not a dry beauty blender, it's a damp beauty blender. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of this product in a pat, dab, roll motion from my spatula.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure that I just put this evenly all through. My aim now is to cover the pigmentation and to make sure that the borders don't show.
Okay.
It should just look flawless once I finish. So I follow this movement in small circles. I never rub anything on it, because then you're going to remove the product and you're going to spend time in re-layering it again.
Yes.
So that's a waste of time.
So almost with a stippling motion, you're just...
Yes, it's all in stippling motion. Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. And the reason I choose this particular color corrector is because it has the right amount of pigmentation in its product. At the same time, it's an HD compatible product, and it's very easy to blend on. It's not really hard. It doesn't go patchy.
Okay, good. How many shades are in that erase paste product?
So they make 4 shades normally. I'm using shade number 3, which is called Deep.
Okay.
And that works the best. And the 4th shade generally tends to be darker, which she doesn't really require.
Okay.
I'm quite a minimalistic in my approach that way. Once I finish this, I don't like excess layers of makeup, so I'm going to roll that through with the blender.
Oh, I like that. That's an interesting...
Like you do it on a wall.
Okay.
So all your excess product is completely removed.
Well, I've never seen that done before, so I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna steal that tip, Cherag.
Yeah, it's gonna look really, really amazing when you see her up close. Once I finish,
okay.
You would not know where the product was, and at the same time, it leaves an even layer all through. Come close.
That looks lovely. Yeah. You can't see where it starts and stops, and that's the key.
Yeah, and that's our main aim. We want to make sure that we go ahead and we have it in that way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with a concealer.
Yep.
And I like to use liquid concealers much more. So I'm going to use something from Tarte Cosmetics.
Oh,
it's called Shape Tape. Yep. And I'm using a shade called Tan Sand. So I'm going to take a bit of that into my tray.
Tarte Cosmetics is quite a lovely cruelty-free brand. I really do like Tarte Cosmetics.
Yeah, they make amazing concealers. I love them because the coverage is so good.
Absolutely. It never looks cakey.
Never, never, never. As a matter of fact, I feel that sometimes after I use a concealer, I don't even need to go ahead and really use foundation.
Okay, yeah.
So I go right here. I don't go close to the lash line. I avoid that because otherwise the eyes can really look sort of chinked in and smaller. So all the areas which have the color corrector will now take the concealer. I love to make the brows look really sharp. So I use this to look after any excess hair that could be present.
Uh-huh.
And this gives an amazing frame to the face.
And just above the brows as well. So you're really framing the eyebrows, aren't you?
Yes, yes. So really, really making them sharp,
Yeah.
sort of hiding off all the excess ingrowth hair or small hair which is about to grow. It just helps it and makes it easier to shape them at a later stage.
Okay.
And also sometimes when you apply a highlighter, you don't want that hair to show through a highlighter. So this helps to keep it in place. I'm going to use my stippling brush, and I'm going to first just pick up a bit of the concealer. And I'm going to just go in circular motion. I advise that if you have people who have very, very dry skin or dehydrated skin, then avoid circular friction movement and then just stipple with this brush.
And you're literally going over the entire face with
Yes, yes. So I keep the concealer into its exact areas where it is required, but whatever little is left, I would buff it through so that I make sure that I'm getting that universal skin tone.
Okay.
The most important part here is that the concealer for Indian skin, when we do this, one is that it works in a way to go ahead and look after pigmentation that you could have. So it's more like a universal application. But you want to do a very thin layer of it. And then the other way it works is it also helps to go ahead and look after any facial hair that you have, which you want to flatten down inside, because if the color of facial hair is black, then they keep popping up with the foundation.
Yes.
So here the concealer helps to sort of seal it back into the skin in a downward movement.
So always going with the hair growth, because obviously
Right.
you want to make sure that it looks flat. Yeah.
So that's that. I always do a little bit on the neckline. I don't like the neck to be bare, so but it's the least and the most minimal product. Come through so they can see you.
Lovely. Yeah.
And I'm going to now use a triangular sponge wedge because my beauty blender is not going to be as precise and as sharp to reach corners and crevices on the face.
Okay.
So, and it can't be blank because otherwise it's going to pull out product. So whatever was left over, I'm going to grab that into this little sponge wedge and then use it.
Okay.
I'm going to look after areas like these, areas like inner corners, lines which I buff upward.
Yes.
And the corner of the nose if I need to do something, lip corners if required, hairline specifications if you want to really sort of push it back, up, down. So that's that. Now I am going to be working with my foundation. My foundation for today is going to be from Marc Jacobs.
Okay.
And I have two shades with me. I have number 44, which is medium golden, and I have number 33, which is ray merkable. So I'm going to be using both of these, 33 and 44.
Okay.
I'm going to do 33 more over to the center of the face, and 44 is going to be more like my side color.
Why did you choose that particular foundation, Cherag?
Because I love the coverage it gives me, number one. The next is the durability for Indian humid weather.
Okay.
Number three, I have to take very little to get what I want. And it's not a very powder cakey matte, it's a satin matte. And I don't really have to powder it too much. So it doesn't leave the face looking plastered. It just looks really nice and soft.
That's good to know.
And they also have optical diffusers, which go ahead and blur out imperfections on the skin.
Lovely. Fabulous.
So I'm going to get them out in my tray in a minute.
Do they do quite an extensive range of colors in Marc Jacobs foundation?
Sorry?
Do they do an extensive range of colors in that foundation?
Oh yes, they do. So I have 5 shades with me. I normally only require generally about 3 shades. I tend to keep fair, medium, and dark with me in my kit. And any other color that I want, I just make sure I add it later. But fair, medium, dark generally works for me the best.
Perfect.
And I mix and match, and I get my colors from that. And this is something I learned when I was with MAC Cosmetics. It's something I learned when I was with Mickey Contractor. It's something I learned when I was with Kralin. So all through I've learned the same thing. And I have the other color now.
How long have you been in the industry for now, Cherag?
I've finished 18 years.
18 years?
Yeah. I've finished 18 years.
And do you still have the same amount of passion for it, or do you have more passion now than you did then?
I don't have a lot of patience for the tantrums of the celebrities anymore. But I love my brides and I love to teach. So I have academies all across Mumbai, and I have some of them who are my franchisees also.
Super.
So that way I love it. But I don't have the patience to wait on a shoot for 12 hours and feel so useless after I finish makeup when I have my assistants to look after the rest. But you know how stars are. They just want you to be fixed over there. They think they bought you for the day. So I've outgrown that stage now. I can't do that. I can't do that anymore.
Oh, I love it.
So I start right in the center.
Okay. And this is with the lighter shade.
This is number 33, which is the lighter shade.
Yeah. And I notice you're doing it on the areas where light will naturally hit the face.
Yes, so I'm sort of creating a highlight right through the center of the face, actually the entire center of the face. And I'm going to do the darker color around so that I have to contour lesser and I don't have to do too much of contouring, which can look really bad when you go up close to the face.
Okay.
So I sort of automatically have a darker shade, which is going to push in the sides. I do the same on the neck, so I go right through the chin and I go here for the center. I'm going to grab my beauty blender now. And I'm going to take a bit of the product on it.
Okay. And again, you're stippling over what you've just done.
Yes, doing the stippling movement. Absolutely right. Yeah. I like to do very little on the eyelid because I tend to have a feeling, and I've learned that you can't do a lot on the eyelid because the skin is much thinner there. So you don't want so many layers of foundation and concealer on the eyelid. So I tend to keep it very minimal over there.
Okay. Now, don't forget, guys, if you just joined us, I'm with the fabulous celebrity makeup artist Cherag, who's created a flawless look. If you've got any comments, pop them on. I've hidden the comments section anyway, but hopefully we'll be able to scroll through them afterwards once Cherag is finished.
Sure. So you see, that's my whole center zone, which I've got done up now.
Okay, yeah.
Let's let them have a feel and look at it.
Super.
Now I'm going to go to the sides. I'm going to pick my stippling brush and I'm going to take shade number 44.
Okay.
And I'm going to sweep in.
Okay. So you're using the slightly darker shade now, just sweeping from the outer edges inwards.
Right, and I'm sweeping in towards the face.
Okay. What's the reason for doing that? Why are you?
So rather than drawing it like that, if I sweep in, I'm automatically creating shading of layers rather than having lines which need to be removed later on by blending too much.
Yeah, I love that.
So I take the entire border of the face like that.
Yes.
I also go ahead and work on the side slightly.
So just under the cheekbone, sweeping that in under the.
That's right. That's right. And also these sides now of the neck, I don't want the neck sides to look heavy, so I sort of diffuse them off completely. And with the darker color, I help to make it look slimmer at the sides, and I popped out the center with the lighter color earlier.
Yes.
And I'm going to again go back to my stippling, so I'm going to now blend in circles. And it's always in an upward movement. I never want to follow a movement which is downwards because that's not great. So it's
Yeah.
always in an upward movement. And I will now again pick up my triangular sponge, the wedge which I was using,
Yes.
and I'm going to just go and dab all through. So at this stage, what I'm doing is I am getting rid of any lines of the brushes or any strokes of the brushes that could remain.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and also picking up any excess product in case I feel there was some excess product. So I have one even layer all through. So very, very light tap motion. Just pick up excess.
Yes. Yeah. You can't see the brush strokes at all now.
Yeah. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually work with a cream contour. So what I'm going to use is from Krylon, and these that I use are Ultra Foundation. They are water-based, and you get them like this. You get a highlighter, a contour, and a base color. You get a pack of 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's Ultra Foundation. So I'm going to now scrape out my contour color.
Okay.
Then I'm going to do cream blush, and then I'm going to use the highlighter. But I'm going to start with the contour now.
Okay. And they're all cream-based products.
They all 3 come like that, yes,
Yeah.
in a little wheel, yes, cream texture.
Super.
So I have some of my contour that I need,
Yes.
and I'm going to take away the whole border of the face. When I teach in the academy, I call this border to border contouring because I want a real strong egg shape to be prominent there. So I'm going to start from the arch of the brow and more towards the hairline, and I'm just going to slice.
Okay.
I'm going to start from the corner of the outer lip and right from the center of the chin, and I'm going to catch this angle. I'm going to now create a universal line going through.
Have you added any more product onto that, or are you just wiping through what you've already put on?
Same, more products, same, just what it was initially.
Okay.
I'm going to now work with the nose. So I'm going to do the sides of the nose and I'm going to sweep it right here because this is a little puffy and prominent. So in makeup, like how we usually know, dark and matte always creates depth, and light and shine enhances and magnifies. So
Yeah.
using that concept, the tip, I don't need that excess tip. And I create two lines here to give it a sculpted pin neck effect.
Okay.
I go right across the jawline. And I'm going to again start stippling with my blending brush. I'm going to take some of my product from my foundation brush right over it.
Yeah.
Now this is the reason why makeup in humidity, when we shoot in places which have very, very high levels of humidity and sweat, and we also do a lot of brides in this kind of weather, the makeup stays intact because I go ahead and I tackle the contour at the cream level also, and I tackle it at the powder level also.
Okay. Again, just to reinforce it, aren't you? That's really what you're doing.
Yes, because in case somebody sweats or they have tears, your sweat and tears both contain salt, so your makeup is very easy to dissolve at that point in time.
Yes.
And disintegrate. So what it's going to do is that even if the top powder layer comes off, I still have the cream sitting underneath where I can just do a touch up and still things look great.
Perfect. You can see already this base structure.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Thank you.
In quite large circular motions, you're using that.
Yes, absolutely, because I'm going to go ahead and take away the entire outer border of the face. So yes, quite large. You want to go in directions like when you do a face massage, when you do a facial, so they keep doing this.
Yes.
So you cut off that whole part. She says she wants to go to sleep.
It looks so relaxing. It really does look so
So that's that.
Okay.
And I like contour this way, where you don't see patches and blotches and lines, but I do know that when you contour, you have contouring that you can do for different occasions or you can do for different times. Like if I was doing a fashion show, then I would contour much stronger because I know that the lights are going to bleach out that makeup when she's on the ramp.
Yeah.
But if I was doing a bride, I would keep it to very minimum. I would do more like this. And if I was doing editorial, then I would make it even lesser.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up a cream blush. This cream blush is from Stila. It's called Soft Gentle Rose. And I'm going to scrape out some.
Okay.
I'm going to use a Real Technique brush. And since I cut off the border, I'm going to do my blush a little lower than the actual cheekbone and the hollow of the cheek to give it a sculpted look. So I also do my blush to give a sculpted effect.
Okay. So this is where you get your model to slightly smile, so we get those slight apples on the cheeks. Yeah.
Absolutely. and I go all the way up to the temple. Once I finish that, I use my triangular wedge sponge. I will retake a bit of that cream from the brush onto this sponge, and I'm going to go circular. So as to leave no lines. If I was not wearing the gloves, I would have taken my finger and arched it in the shape of the cheek, and I would have just patted it in like that.
Okay. Cherag, do you miss not using your fingers and your hand?
Oh, I miss it so much. So, you know, I've been doing a lot of live sessions with you all and other people also, and also my students. So I actually first practiced for a few days to understand that, am I actually going to be able to do this? Do I have the grip of the brush? Can I really do what I want to do? But yes, I use these surgical gloves. Yeah. And they work amazingly. They work amazingly. So they're disposable, so it can just be disposed of after use. But yeah, in the beginning, I was in a dilemma whether I will be able to do this or not.
Well, you're doing it super well. I mean, it's
so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you have a blush now, which is going to be like a natural flush of color. It's not going to give you any cuts, lines, harsh strokes in the face, nothing.
No, lovely. Very good.
And I'm going to now start with an added oomph factor, where I'm going to do a little more of highlight now.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a shade which is called FS22, and that shade is from Kryolan. I've scraped it out of my palette.
Okay.
And I'm going to come back in. So if you feel the forehead looks larger in proportion to the face, then I don't highlight there, but I sort of try to lift my brows and use my brows as a distracting factor.
Okay.
And take attention right at the brow rather than doing it there. I like to work the C-zone.
Yes. So just on top of the cheekbone there.
Uh-huh. The upper lip and the little bit on the chin. I also do a little bit here at the side. Just very little.
And that's a really nice contrast to the cheekbone, isn't it? Just put.
Yeah, it sort of looks. If you really want to go ahead and get a sculpted feel without the lines in it, then this effect works the best. And I'm going to now blend everything out together. I'm using a brush from NYX. And I do really large strokes now. Everything has to sort of look like it's just shades that are merging from one into the other.
Yeah. And is that a synthetic brush or is that a real hairbrush?
Yes, that is also a synthetic brush. Okay. But it is a new age synthetic brush. I must go ahead and iterate this. So this I learned when I was in the US. I was in New York for my updates like I go every time. So there are companies that started working on figuring out how can they have synthetic brushes instead of real hair brushes. One is because of cruelty-free beauty, and the other reason is because real brushes sort of catch bacteria much faster. So what they have done is Sigma is the first company which did it, and they put all the makeup brushes of synthetic hair through a process which made the hair more porous, so it can actually hold the powder.
Oh,
So now they have synthetic brushes which can work with powder and cream and liquid.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Now I'm just going to go back to my beauty blender.
Yes.
One quick dab all across and a roll.
I love that rolling effect.
I'll say thank you.
It's great.
Me too. Fall asleep now.
Mom? So there you are. You have your base in place now.
Stunning. Lovely.
And now I'm going to powder. So I don't like to use a very heavy powder, so I'm going to use a powder which is a hyaluronic hydra powder. It's a powder which is going to be water based. It's from Terry Blair.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use this powder because this powder does not leave the face looking cakey or masked.
And is it a translucent powder or are there in
It's completely colorless, completely colorless.
Yeah.
And it says it is a colorless Hydra Care powder.
So again, that's a really good powder to have in your kit because of course, no matter what skin tone you're working on, it's going to be perfect for every skin tone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Without having the fear that your face is going to look like a mask, because the biggest challenge that makeup artists face, I'm sure, is when you try to work with someone where you want to give them a sort of a natural effect in the makeup,
Yeah.
but you aren't able to really do that because you have to powder it, because you know that creams and liquid need to be set with powder, otherwise a person can sweat and get your makeup looking really patchy.
Yes.
So in those situations, I love this powder. So it actually goes ahead and it's like a humectant. So it actually goes ahead and picks up moisture from the air.
Okay.
And it actually goes ahead and puts it right back onto your face.
And I suppose that's a great way as well to keep the skin looking fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
It won't
Absolutely. Fresh and dewy without any cakey effect. Okay, and look outside. So I do one round like this on the under eye.
Yes.
And now I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to take the same wedge sponge that I used. I'm going to take a hydrating mist.
Yes.
And I'm going to spray that right onto this. I want it really soaked with water.
Okay.
And I am actually going to pick back that powder. Right onto this.
Okay.
And I'm going to look after the under eyes with that.
Great. So you just loaded it all up into that little sponge and you're just pressing and tapping that underneath the eye.
Exactly. So this is called sandbagging. For people who really want to know about the technique, they can search it up.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of makeup artists who've been using this technique. And it works amazingly. And you just leave that powder there. The trick is that you don't do too much of powder and you don't use a very heavy powder. Otherwise, you're going to again start drawing lines on your under eye.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do with this later is I use a fixer powder from Laura Mercier.
Okay.
And the powder says candle, glow, sheer, press, perfection.
Okay.
I'm going to run a quick round of it, just as a finishing product.
And again, that's going under the eye too, just where you've applied the
Absolutely, absolutely. So I like this powder because it's not like regular pressed powder, which can look really cakey and masky. It, as a matter of fact, just diffuses everything onto the skin and makes it look so, so real. It sets your makeup amazingly also. Now I'm going to do powder contouring for her. So I'm going to be choosing my powder contour color.
Okay.
A Smashbox palette.
Oh, I love a bit of Smashbox. I think they do a really good
Their products are so good, so, so good. And I'm going to pick up the lighter shade, not the darker shade, because I want the contour to be just beautiful and not intense.
Okay.
I go on the jawline and under the jawline and also the chin part.
Yes.
And then I connect them to these vertical lines across the sides of the neck, which I do.
Again, really, it's just playing with light and shade, isn't it? It's just
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like matte and dark and light and shine.
Yes.
I'm going to do the sides of the nose. So I'm going to just work myself with this brush. Same brush, I just flatten it a little more. I really like to shade the corners of the forehead and then follow the rule of the entire side that I have been following all through. And I'm going to go from the center of the ear to the corner of the lip to give length to this face.
Lovely. You know, if somebody's got long hair, Cherag, and they've got, say, a centre parting, so there's a lot of natural shadow where the hair is hitting the face.
On the sides of the face.
Yeah, so would you put less product on then?
Yeah, for sure I would put less. But you know, the issue that we have here is that when people leave their hair open where it comes really close to the face, because of the kind of humidity that people face, they like the hair to be really away from the face.
Interesting, yeah.
So, because otherwise if they sweat, the hair sticks to it and all of that, and then it really creates a mess. So that's why they really like to go ahead and keep the hair away from the face, quite contrary to what people like otherwise.
Okay.
And I'm going to do blush, which is also from Smashbox, and I'm going to be picking up something which is more peach or organza peach.
Oh, lovely.
And same way from the side.
That just really boosts the radiance of the skin.
Yep, it does. The blush also has a little bit of a sheen to it. So it sort of multiplies that glow factor. And I like this little tip thing on the nose and chin and a little bit dust here. I'm going to now go ahead and work with a highlighter, which I used from Charlotte Tilbury.
Okay.
It's called the Gold Bar. So it has 3 different shades in it for fair, medium, and dark.
Yes.
But I actually swap all 3 together. I swatch them completely together
Okay.
when I use it. So I pick up a blush brush like this.
So combination of the 3 shades, and again, that's just going on top of the cheekbone?
Absolutely, right at the C-zone, what we call.
Yes.
And in case I wanted the cheek to have a little bit of a pop smile, I just do that. So it just looks nicer and more radiant.
Gorgeous. Now, Cherag, we've got 5 minutes because you know with Insta Live, it just
Yeah,
just
sure.
cuts
We're
off.
good. We're done. We're done. We're done.
I just didn't want you to get completely cut off in your prime. You're doing such a beautiful
So
job.
yeah. No, so we're completely done with our base. All I'm going to do is now put on a fixer.
Super.
I'm going to just have that straight in.
Okay. Is that the Krylon fixer that you're using?
Sorry?
Is that the Krylon fixer that you're using?
No, the one I use is from Bodyography.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to use the Smashbox lip color.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Fabulous. And what would you do with the eyes? Would you put a coat of mascara on or nothing? Would you just brush through the lip?
I would. So right now we only wanted to show base just smack once and we're done. But if I normally did it with this, I would have done something really natural and really soft.
Yeah.
I wouldn't accentuate the eyes too much because I already have a lot of amazing effects on the base and I like one single focus feature.
Exactly. So we just need
And
possible.
so that's that. So that just gives you the most flawless base that's possible.
That is gorgeous. I'm just going to reactivate the comments just quickly if we've got a couple of minutes. Let's just turn this on. Guys at home, I hope you really enjoyed. Show us some love for Cherag. We got hearts flying up here. We've got lots of beautiful love hearts. Lots of people have joined us. Misty has joined us. Thank you so much.
How sweet.
Cherag, you are a sensation. If you've got any comments at home, if you just maybe post them on this post, and then hopefully we can get Cherag to answer back as well. Is that okay with you, Cherag?
Awesome. Absolutely fine.
Thank you so much for your talent, for your patience, your gorgeous model as well.
Thank you.
Stay healthy, stay happy, and thank you for being part of Makeup Week Virtual here in India. And hopefully I'll see you guys again.
Thank you so much. Take care. Thanks.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.